She, settle in now. Feel the soft fabric of your blanket, the gentle weight on your body. Take a slow, deep breath in and let it drift out. Like a quiet sigh carried across a snowy fjord. There's no rush, no demands. This hush. Allow your eyes to grow heavy, your shoulders to drop, and your mind to drift like a ship on still water. Breathe in. Imagine the crisp, clear air of a northern morning filling your lungs. Breathe out. Feel any tension melting away like icicles beneath a gentle spring sun. You are safe. You are warm. You are here. The distant call of seabirds echoing across the fjord, and as you continue to breathe, let your thoughts float away like tiny boats on a quiet sea. You might hear the gentle rustling of pines in your mind, where the sea sings its ancient songs, and the stars glitter like silver runes above the earth, a deep, comforting hush. Tonight, you will travel far from the busy worries of the day, far away from glowing screens and hurried voices, into a land where frost and fire live side by side. Our story tonight sets sail at the edge of a long northern coastline, a place where the land rises in rugged cliffs and the sea rolls in endless gray-blue waves, a place where long winters stretch their quiet arms across the fjords, and where the Vikings learned not just to endure. Imagine a small Viking settlement. Low wooden houses, their roofs layered thick with turf and snow, so that, from a distance, they look like sleeping beasts. Smoke curls gently from tiny holes at the roof peaks, rising into the pale sky, barely rising, before slipping away again, leaving long hours of dusky twilight. The cold is deep and complete, a living presence that wraps around every rock and tree, but inside those wooden walls, there is warmth. A hearth fire crackles gently, sending sparks up into the dark beams above. Step inside. The door is heavy, carved with rough runes for protection and blessing. As it closes behind you, the biting wind disappears, and you're greeted by the scent of pine resin. Shadows sway like gentle spirits against the walls. Furs and woven blankets are stacked high, waiting to wrap around tired shoulders. In one corner, a large cauldron simmers over the fire, sending up slow, spiraling puffs of steam scented with onion, wild herbs, and cured meats. The soft murmur of voices blends with the rhythm of the crackling logs, creating a lullaby as old as the north itself. You sink down onto a wooden bench, covered in thick sheep's wool. Your body instantly relaxes, the warmth rising up through your legs, your back, into your shoulders. A young girl offers you a carved wooden cup of warm mead, and fragrant. And as you sip, listen. A storyteller has begun to speak. His voice is low and calm, as if shaped by the rhythm of waves and the hush of falling snow. His words wrap around you like a soft cloak, inviting you to drift deeper into this other world. In the far north, he says, where the aurora weaves her green and violet ribbons across the sky, our ancestors learned the quiet language of winter. They watched the snow gather in silent drifts, listened to the howl of the wolf, the creak of pine trees, heavy with ice, and in this stillness, they found ways to survive. You feel your breath sensing with his words, slow, soft, flowing in and out like the tide. Your mind begins to wander. You see a Viking ship frozen at the edge of a fjord. You hear the hush of the night air, the distant crack of shifting ice. In the longhouse, the people gather close. Children curl at their mother's feet, wrapped in woolen cloaks, dyed in deep browns and forest greens. Elders sit near the hearth, their beards long and touched with frost, their eyes reflecting flames and memories alike. They tell stories of long journeys across frozen seas, where the horizon was a line of silver ice, and the sky above burned with shifting lights. They speak of gods who wore cloaks of snow and carried spears of starlight. And they share small secrets of survival, how to layer wool and fur to trap warmth, how to bury embers in ash to keep them alive until morning, how to listen for the whisper of reindeer on the moonlit tundra. Imagine the hush of this moment, the slow, deliberate movements of hands mending nets, stirring pots, braiding hair, the quiet crackle of firewood as it splits and sighs into glowing coals, the soft breathing of those around you, calm and rhythmic, like a shared heartbeat in the winter dark. Outside, the snow thickens, drifting softly against the walls. A dog lifts its head, nose twitching at the scent of new snow, then settles again with a long, contented sigh. Above, the aurora shivers gently, a quiet dance of color across the star-pinned sky. So very safe. You can almost feel the cold pressing softly against the outer walls, a reminder of the deep. And yet, here, wrapped in warmth and flickering light, you feel safe, as if you, too, have become part of the story, part of this ancient, living dream. Letting go of any tightness in your chest, your jaw, your mind. Breathe in. The warmth of the hearth, the sweet echo of honey mead, the softness of wool against your skin. Each exhale is a gentle drift further into the story, into comfort, into sleep. The storyteller's voice drops lower, even softer now, and when the storms howled, he whispers. The people did not fear them. They knew that the winds were spirits carrying messages from the mountains and the sea. They knew that to survive the deepest cold was not only to fight against it, but to embrace it, to move with it, to learn from it. His voice becomes a gentle rhythm, a soft wave in the darkness. Your eyelids grow heavy, your breathing even slower, your thoughts a quiet drift of snowflakes across an endless fjord. The storyteller pauses to sip his own mead, his hand steady despite the age, You watch the flames flicker in his eyes, as if whole sagas live there, waiting to unfold. He breathes deeply, and so do you, slow and easy. Your mind floats, as if you are sitting on a drifting piece of ice, carried gently by the midnight tide. Outside, the snow whispers secrets to the earth. Snowflakes spiral down, each one a tiny rune from the sky, each one unique and perfect. The distant forest sighs beneath the weight of white branches bending low like sleeping giants. And yet, there is no fear here. Only quiet acceptance. Only the deep, knowing that the cold is a part of life, a teacher. In the long house, the elders murmur about preparations for the next day. They will rise before dawn, though dawn is little more than a pale ghost on the horizon this time of year. They will chop more wood, mend tools, tend to the animals sheltered in the smaller barns nearby. The storyteller continues, his voice almost like a low chant now. In the deepest winter, when the fjords froze thick and the sea turned to silver stone, they would sit with it, watch it, learn its rhythms. They would become one with the hush, one with the snow's slow dance. Your eyes flutter as if in a dream, your breathing as smooth as polished driftwood. You hear the faraway echo of an axe biting into frozen logs, the rhythmic thud. Then the gentle clink of iron on stone, as someone sharpens a blade. A young woman sits cross-legged by the hearth, weaving a thick woolen tunic. Her fingers move with patient certainty, pulling the soft, dyed yarn through and over, creating row upon row of warmth. She hums softly. A lullaby her grandmother sang, perhaps a tune rising and falling like the aurora above. A man sits across from her, slowly carving a piece of reindeer antler. He shapes it into a comb, a gift for his daughter. His knife moves carefully, each scrape a gentle heartbeat against the quiet. From time to time, he blows the dust away, revealing fine, delicate, runic patterns. You feel the warmth of the fire settle into your bones, as if you, too. The glow wraps around your shoulders, up your neck, around your head like a gentle hood. Outside, the blizzard's voice rises and falls, but inside, there is only calm. The storyteller's voice deepens further, now almost a whisper meant only for you. They learned to store warmth inside, he says. Not only in the hearth or the furs, but in each other, in shared songs, in old stories, in the quiet faith that spring. He tells of how they made their beds from layered furs, bear, fox, reindeer, each piece chosen for its softness and warmth. How they arranged sleeping spaces close together. Family members curled like puppies. Every night became a ceremony of warmth, a shared ritual of gratitude for simply being alive. Imagine lying down on one of these beds now. Your body sinking into the thick furs, each layer hugging you, each breath becoming slower, deeper. Above you, the beams creak gently, a lullaby from the bones of the forest. Outside, the moon drifts, high and bright. A few stars glimmer, and somewhere far off, a lone wolf offers a long, echoing howl. In response, a hush even deeper falls over the land, as if the earth itself pauses to listen. The longhouse is now almost silent. The children have fallen into their dreams, tiny fingers curled around wooden toys carved by patient hands. The elders lean back, eyes half closed, drifting between the waking world and the realm of mist. Even the dogs by the door curl tighter, snouts tucked beneath heavy tails. The storyteller breathes in again, his voice wrapping around you like the final layers of a blanket. And so they survived, he murmurs. Through patience. Through the warmth they wove not only into their cloaks, but into their hearts. You feel each word echoes softly in your mind, ringing like a distant harp string. Your own heartbeat slows, your muscles soften, and your mind drifts further still. He speaks now of the sea, how it would freeze near the shore, and yet always pulse beneath. How the fishermen would carve channels through the ice, peering into the dark water below, offering whispered prayers to the gods of fish and wave. Their hands red from cold, but hearts warm with purpose and connection. They believed the sea was a living spirit, a vast, restless being with moods and tempers. They treated it with reverence, bringing small offerings, sprigs of evergreen, and in return, the sea would provide fish gleaming beneath moonlight. You feel the warmth of the fire settle into your bones, as if you, too, have sat here many nights before. The glow wraps around your shoulders, up your neck, around your head. Outside, the blizzard's voice rises and falls, but inside, there is only calm. The storyteller's voice deepens further, now almost a whisper meant only for you. They learned to store warmth inside, he says. Not only in the hearth or the furs, but in each other. In shared songs, in old stories, in the quiet faith that spring would return. He tells of how they made their beds from layered furs. Bear, fox, reindeer. Each piece chosen for its softness and warmth. How they arranged sleeping spaces close together. Family members curled like puppies beneath heavy woolen blankets. Every night became a ceremony of warmth, a shared ritual of gratitude for simply being alive. Imagine lying down on one of these beds now, your body sinking into the thick furs, each layer hugging you, each breath becoming slower, deeper. Above you, the beams creak gently, a lullaby from the bones of the forest. Outside, the moon drifts high and bright, its light spilling across the snow like a silent blessing. A few stars glimmer, and somewhere far off, a lone wolf offers a long. In response, a hush even deeper falls over the land, as if the earth itself pauses to listen. The longhouse is now almost silent. The children have fallen into their dreams, tiny fingers curled around wooden toys carved by patient hands. The elders lean back, eyes half closed, drifting between the waking world and the realm of mist and spirit. Even the dogs by the door curl tighter, snouts tucked beneath heavy tails. The storyteller breathes in again, his voice wrapping around you like the final layers of a blanket. And so they survived, he murmurs, through patience, through softness. Through the warmth, they wove not only into their cloaks, but into their hearts. You feel each word echo softly in your mind, ringing like a distant harp string. Your own heartbeat slows, your muscles soften, and your mind drifts further still. He speaks now of the sea, how it would freeze near the shore, and yet always pulse beneath, alive, with hidden currents. How the fishermen would carve channels through the ice, peering into the dark water below, offering whispered prayers to the gods of fish and wave. Their hands red from cold, but hearts warm with purpose and connection. They believed the sea was a living spirit, a vast, restless being with moods and tempers. They treated it with reverence, bringing small offerings, sprigs of evergreen, carved tokens, a few drops of mead, and in return, the sea would provide fish gleaming beneath moonlight, seals moving like shadows. You feel the hush of that sea now, as if its endless depth stretches beneath your own consciousness. A slow, deep current carries you farther from the shore of wakefulness, deeper into the blue-black dream sea of rest. Breathe in and out, soft and quiet. With each breath, imagine you are a Viking mariner, gliding over frozen waves, beneath a sky heavy with stars. The dragon prow of your ship watches ahead, its wooden eyes catching the faint glimmers of aurora. The air is crisp, almost biting at your cheeks, but you are bundled in thick cloaks, layers of fur pressed close to your skin. Your fingers rest on the edge of the shield beside you, carved with runes of luck and safe return. You hear the gentle creak of the oars, the sigh of leather boots on the deck, the hush of the sea whispering its ancient stories all around you. The ship moves slowly, steadily, as if guided by unseen hands. The horizon blends into mist and moonlight, and above, the northern lights shift and shimmer, painting the sky with dreamlike colors. Each gentle wave becomes a lullaby, each flicker of light, a soft hand. In the longhouse, you drift deeper still, your body heavy and warm, your mind floating in the hush of 1,000 winters past. The storyteller's voice fades into the fire's crackle, into the slow breathing of those around you, into the deep, quiet heartbeat of the earth. And so, you rest, like the Vikings did on their longest nights, trusting in the warmth of the hearth, the softness of wool, the gentle circle of family and kin, trusting in the slow return of spring, even when it feels impossibly far away. Tonight, there is no need to worry, no need to plan, no need to reach for anything at all. Just breathe and drift. and allow yourself to be held by this ancient northern dream. The storyteller's voice has softened to an almost inaudible murmur, like the echo of waves against a snow-lined shore. His words slip in and out of your awareness, wrapping your thoughts in layers of velvet hush. You can almost see yourself there. A small ember glowing inside a bed of ash, waiting for the morning to rise and breathe it back to flame. Your mind floats above the longhouse roof, seeing the vast white landscape stretching out in every direction. The moon glows softly above, a pale eye watching over the slumbering land. Snow drifts pile high against the longhouse walls, forming smooth, wind-carved curves. Icicles hang like crystal runes from the roof edge, each one holding a tiny flicker of moonlight inside. Out beyond the settlement, the fjord lies still and silent, its frozen surface reflecting stars as if they are resting in a glassy pool. The Vikings did not see winter as a battle to be won, but as a companion to learn from, a silent teacher of patience and resilience. They believed the cold taught them to honor the small warmth within, to care for each ember, each human breath, each flicker of life. You imagine the elders whispering old prayers before sleep, runes etched into driftwood hanging above the hearth. They call to Freya, to Thor, to Ngerd, to keep watch over the sea ice and the longhouse roof. Their voices are gentle, a vibration through the walls, barely louder than the crackle of the last few logs. Close your eyes now. Feel your chest rise and fall like a slow tide. Imagine you are lying beneath heavy fur blankets, the warmth pressing against your skin. Deeper, your dreams begin to blend with the story. You see yourself stepping out into the moonlit snow, wrapped in thick cloaks and fur boots. The sky is alive with ribbons of green and violet, the aurora pulsing like the breath of a sleeping giant. Each step crunches softly beneath you, but the world feels tender, almost reverent. In the distance, you see figures moving between longhouses, carrying baskets of dried fish. Their faces are gentle and unhurried, lit from within by a calm determination. When they pass each other, they offer a slow nod or a soft word, their breath glowing in the night air like tiny lanterns. Near the edge of the settlement, a small barn stands, the roof sagging beneath layers of snow. Inside, goats and sheep nestle together, their warm bodies. You hear the occasional soft bleat or the rustle of straw, a low, comforting chorus. Back in the longhouse, the last embers glow faintly. The children dream of summer meadows and the shining waves of distant coasts. The mothers dream of weaving bright tunics in the sun and gathering herbs from green forest clearings. The warriors dream of voyages to faraway shores, their ships slicing through sea foam beneath a sky full of screaming gulls. And you dream of floating on a quiet fjord. Your small boat drifts between drifting ice floes, and each chunk of ice carries the faint echo of an old saga, a story whispered by the sea itself. You lean back, the northern lights shimmering overhead, painting your face in hues of emerald and lavender. The air is so crisp that each breath feels like a sparkling jewel slipping into your chest. And each exhale is a gentle fog drifting away and joining the mist above the water. As if you might drift up into the aurora and dance there, weightless and free. The storyteller speaks again in your mind, his voice now like a distant echo across a snowy valley. They survived because they listened, he says. Listened to the animals and learned their quiet path. Listened to the snow as it fell, flake by flake, reminding them to slow down. Listened to the trees as they creaked under frost. You imagine the Vikings' winter feasts, long wooden tables lined with smoked fish, dried berries, wild mushrooms gathered in summer and carefully stored, hot stews bubbling in iron pots, steam curling upward to meet the cold air whenever the door creaks open. They share stories of ancestors, laugh at old jokes, sing ballads that rise and fall in warm. A small harp plays in one corner, its notes delicate as frost crystals. A woman's voice joins, weaving around the strings like a soft thread through wool. The melody carries you further from your waking thoughts, further into the slow, timeless hush. You are no longer separate from the longhouse. You are the warm hearth glow, the slow swirl of rising steam, the quiet breath of a sleeping child. You are the soft flicker of a dying ember, the hush of fur blankets, the gentle hush of falling snow. Outside, the wind shapes gentle dunes of powder across the settlement paths. It whispers between corners and crevices, never angry, simply reminding the land of its ancient language. The moon rolls higher, and the aurora brightens, moving like a living river across the heavens. Slow and deep, let your lungs fill with the cool, starlit air of the north. Breathe out as if releasing 1,000 small worries into the night sky. Feel the warmth gather at your center, a glowing hearth of your own. Every heartbeat is slower now, every thought softer. Your mind drifts like snow across an endless white plain, each flake a quiet, shimmering dream. The storyteller's voice fades once more, but its warmth remains, like a hand on your shoulder, reminding you, but you are not alone, that you are watched over by the spirits of ice and fire, by ancestors who knew the language of frost and flame, that in this long winter night you are cradled in the heart of an old, gentle world. As you drift, you sense the promise of spring shimmering far on the horizon, green buds under snow, rivers waiting to sing again. But for now, there is no need to reach forward. Tonight belongs to stillness, to warmth, to the ancient lullaby of the north. Allow yourself to surrender, to feel your breath deepen, your body grow heavier and yet somehow lighter at once. To release yourself fully into this quiet journey across fjords and forests, across time and dream. The night holds you now. The aurora watches over your dreams, and the hearth's last ember glows in your chest. You are safe. You are warm. You are home. The storyteller's voice is now a soft echo beneath your thoughts, like a harp string vibrating gently beneath layers of snow. His words are not so much heard as felt, pulsing softly in the marrow of your bones. You feel the pull of deep sleep, as if the earth beneath the longhouse is a great hand holding you close. In that safe, hushed darkness, your mind opens like a slow-blooming frost flower. You see the Vikings preparing for the long winter and early autumn, gathering herbs and drying fish in the last golden days before the cold sets in. Women work at looms, weaving thick woolen cloaks dyed in shades of deep green. Men mend nets, sharpen blades, and gather wood from the forest edges, stacking logs higher than a man stands tall. Every task is deliberate, slow, almost ritualistic. Each stitch. You imagine the faint scent of pine sap on their fingers, the hush of wool brushing against skin. A sense of timeless patience lives here. An understanding that winter is not an enemy, but a season of deep listening. A time to share the warmth stored in laughter, in mead, in gentle hands, smoothing a child's hair by firelight. As the last light of day sinks into the sea, a mother hums a cradle song. Her voice is low and soft, rising and falling, like a drifting snowflake. Her baby blinks slowly, cheeks rosy from the fire's glow, eyelids heavy with the weight of dreams. The melody weaves around you now, a gentle thread tugging at your own mind, inviting you to relax, to surrender fully to this slow. Your breath matches it, in and out, as if you, too, are a child wrapped in wool, safe and warm in your mother's arms. In the far corner of the longhouse, a group gathers around a low table. They hold carved pieces of bone and wood, playing a quiet game of chance. Their laughter is hushed, rolling softly through the room like distant thunder over a frozen lake. Even in play, there is no rush, no urgency, only the joy of togetherness, the flicker of firelight in kind eyes. Outside, the night deepens further. The moon now hangs directly above the fjord, laying a silver path across the ice. A lone fox crosses that path, its fur thick and white as frost. It pauses to listen, nose twitching at the scents carried by the breeze, then melts into the forest shadows. You feel the hush of that moonlit world pressing softly against your skin. The chill outside remains distant, a pale dream at the edges of your warmth. Inside, the air is dense, with the scent of smoked meat, and the storyteller leans back, eyes half closed, as if drifting along the edges of his own tale. You watch him gently trace a rune on the tabletop, a sign for protection, or perhaps for good sleep and deep dreams. His finger moves slowly, carefully, like a painter, smoothing a final line on a canvas of snow. He speaks again, voice low and resonant as the sea beneath winter ice. In the darkest months, they believed the world itself was dreaming, he says. They believed the stars were candles lit by ancestors, guiding souls safely through the long night. Each spark above a reminder, you are never alone in the cold. His words sink into your mind, dissolving like snowflakes on warm skin. You feel each phrase echo down your spine, calming every muscle. It is as if the cold itself reaches into you, not to chill, but to hush. Beyond the longhouse walls, the northern lights shift again, brightening and swirling as if dancing to a song only they can hear. Long trails of green and purple ripple across the sky, a slow, silent waltz. The snow reflects those colors, creating soft, shifting shadows that drift across the ground like forgotten dreams. You imagine stepping out into that moon-bathed silence. Your boots sink gently into deep snow, the crunch beneath your feet slow and muffled. Your breath rises, white and luminous, merging with the aurora above. For a moment, you tilt your head back and close your eyes, feeling the vastness of the sky stretch above you. The stars blink softly, ancient and kind. You feel the pulse of the world beneath you, slow, steady, endless. In this moment, you are as much a part of the land as the pines, as the snow, as the silver moon above. Breathe in the scent of clean, icy air. Breathe out. Let go of every tight corner in your mind. Allow your body to feel heavy, as if it is sinking into a sea of fur and wool. You imagine turning back toward the longhouse, the warm orange glow spilling from its small windows. You see the flicker of flames, the slow movements of those inside. You walk softly toward that light. Each step be a gentle invitation. At the doorway, a hand pulls back the heavy wool curtain. A woman's face greets you, her expression serene and welcoming. She steps aside to let you in, and as you pass the threshold, warmth pours over you like a gentle wave. The hearth's glow greets you first, then the quiet hum of voices and the soft rustle of furs. Someone presses a warm wooden mug into your hands. Thick, sweet mead that fills you with a gentle. Your fingers curl around the cup, feeling its smooth, worn edges. You take a sip, and a soft sweetness coats your tongue, sliding down your throat like honey. Your entire body exhales, sinking further into warmth, into safety. In this place, no one is in a hurry. Time stretches, soft and wide as the winter horizon. Every movement, every breath is deliberate, sacred, and tender. The storyteller lowers his voice once more. But by weaving warmth into each breath, each story, each shared moment. And so, he whispers, they survived the deepest cold. Not by fleeing it. You feel his words become part of you, sinking into the marrow of your bones like a hidden ember. Your mind begins to blur at the edges now. Your breath is slow, long, and deep. Thoughts drift past like distant boats in a frozen harbor, gentle, quiet. A soft hand rests on your shoulder in your mind's eye, steady and reassuring. It guides you further down, deeper into this quiet sea of dreams. The glow of the hearth seems to follow you inside, warming the deepest corners of your spirit. In this warmth, there is no weight of the day, no echoes of tomorrow. Only the soft hush of fur blankets, the hush of drifting snow, the hush of ancient songs shared in the dark. The hush inside the longhouse grows even deeper. You sense every breath around you, each one a small wave rolling in the same calm ocean. The fire's glow settles low, the logs sighing softly as they collapse into warm, glowing embers. You feel as though you are no longer just listening to the story. You are inside it. You are one of the dreamers curled by the hearth, the warmth sinking into your bones, and the scent of pine and smoke drifting through your hair. The storyteller's voice floats through the air like a feather. In the quietest nights, he says, when the winds roared across the fjords and snow piled against the door, they did not tremble. They closed their eyes and listened to the old songs the storm carried. They imagined the voices of ancestors singing from beyond the ice, guiding them safely to the morning. His words vibrate inside you, slow and rhythmic, echoing with each beat of your heart. Outside, the aurora shimmers brighter now, its long fingers reaching down as if to bless the earth below. The snow glows faintly green and purple, an otherworldly lantern in the night. You imagine lying on a thick fur, your head resting against a woven pillow stuffed with sweet-smelling herbs, dried angelica. Each inhalation brings a soothing softness. Each exhalation carries away the remnants of any lingering thoughts. A soft rustle near the hearth draws your attention. An old woman leans forward, carefully turning a carved wooden spindle. Her fingers move slowly, expertly, spinning thick yarn that will later become mittens or hats. The spindle hums gently, a low purr like a distant cat in a sunbeam. A young boy sits at her side, eyes wide and shining with the light of the fire. He watches her hands, his own fingers twitching, as if learning through the air. Sometimes he glances at the storyteller, and his small mouth shapes silent words as he memorizes each line. This is how knowledge travels in the deepest cold, by warmth, by repetition, by the soft echo of voices at night. No rush, no urgency. Only the gentle, endless weaving of stories into the fabric of life. Outside, the snow thickens further, pressing against the longhouse like a great soft quilt. The winds swirl around the roof beams, their howls softened into lullabies by the thick turf overhead. Somewhere far off, a reindeer herd shifts in a sheltered hollow, their breath rising in quiet clouds. Breathe in. Feel the weight of the blankets, the softness of furs, the scent of smoked wood. Let go of your jaw, soften your brow, let your shoulders sink even deeper. Your mind drifts as though carried by a gentle sled over endless, snowy plains. The storyteller's voice returns, even softer now. They believed that winter taught the soul to grow slow and strong, like the roots of the tallest pines. That to endure the cold was to learn patience, and to hold fire in your heart was the true mark of a warrior. You see the warriors now in your mind's eye, not as fierce fighters in shining helms, but as quiet guardians sitting cross-legged near the fire. Their hands are busy polishing blades or oiling bowstrings, but their eyes are gentle, watching the flames as if reading runes. These warriors knew that battle was only a part of life. That true strength also meant knowing when to rest, when to breathe, when to surrender. One of them rises, stretches slowly, and walks to the door. He opens it just enough to peer into the swirling night. A flurry of snowflakes bursts inward, cool and sharp, before the door closes again. He brushes the snow from his cloak and offers a small nod to the room, a silent promise that all is well outside. His footsteps are soft, his movements unhurried, like the slow meander of a winter river beneath ice. You feel that same pace begin to echo in your own body, each heartbeat a gentle step, each breath a slow wave washing you deeper into dream. Your mind's eye drifts to the forest edge beyond the settlement. Tall pines stand in patient rows, their trunks dark against the snow. The wind moves among their needles, creating a soft, continuous whisper, as if the trees themselves are breathing with you. Above, the moon rolls slowly toward the horizon, a great pale lantern sinking into the silent sea. A lone owl glides between tree branches, its wings silent as moonlight on ice. Each moment is woven of softness and stillness, a living lullaby made of frost and firelight. Imagine now the taste of warm broth, rich and salty, carrying the memory of wild herbs. The steam curls up into the cold air, and as you sip, it feels like warmth blooming through your entire chest. You wrap both hands around the wooden bowl, feeling its shape anchor you deeper into the story. Close your eyes again in your mind's eye. The warmth of the broth, the hush of the fire, the slow breath of the forest, the shifting dance of aurora. Each one becomes a layer of soft, protective warmth around your spirit. There is no need to hold anything. No need to reach for tomorrow. Just this quiet moment, this long, endless night that welcomes you deeper and deeper. You feel your body melt as if becoming part of the longhouse floor, the furs, the earth below. You are both heavy and light at once, a warm ember in a nest of snow. Your thoughts drift slowly past like small wooden boats on a dark fjord, each one carrying away a piece of tension, a piece of noise. The storyteller's voice is barely more than a hush now. Rest, he says. Like the ice resting on the sea? Like the snow resting on the pine boughs? Like the stars resting in the winter sky? There's nothing else you need to do, only to rest and to dream. And to let your soul wander in the quiet night. The firelight in the longhouse dims even further, casting slow-moving shadows across the low wooden beams. The storyteller's voice is now a slow, gentle tide, rising and falling, almost imperceptibly. You can feel the deep hush of winter settling in your bones, the kind of hush that lives in moonlit forests, in the pause before dawn, in the soft weight of snow falling in the night. Your breath becomes quieter, as if it, too, wants to listen to the distant creak of pine trees and the hushed murmur of ancient voices. Your heartbeat echoes the slow, steady rhythm of a faraway drum, the drumbeat of the earth beneath deep snow. You imagine the Vikings' small lamps, carved from stone or clay, their flames flickering like fireflies in the long dark. One lamp might sit by a sleeping child, its glow a tiny sun against the endless night. Another rests near the hearth, its light revealing the worn lines of a warrior's face as he watches the embers settle into ash. In another corner, an old woman sprinkles herbs into a small clay pot, whispering blessings for health and warmth. The soft, fragrant smoke curls around her, weaving through the rafters, slipping out into the night where it joins the aurora above. You see the way each person here moves, with unhurried grace. No sudden gestures. Even laughter here is soft, like a low wind brushing over snowbanks, never startling. Slowly, deeply. Imagine that breath, carrying the warmth of the fire, the sweetness of honey mead. Breathe out and feel your entire body sink a little deeper, as though melting into a bed of moss beneath a winter sky. The storyteller's voice drifts again, as if carried on a soft breeze through the longhouse. They believed that each winter was a gift, he murmurs. A time to reflect, to listen to the old songs of the stars, to weave dreams into the long tapestry of the dark months. And greens, warm reds and golds, telling stories of past voyages. You imagine the great woven tapestries hanging along the longhouse walls, rich with deep blues. You see the tiny stitches, each one a heartbeat from another winter. You feel your mind tracing those stories with gentle fingers, each thread leading you further into stillness. Outside, a lone raven calls from the forest edge. The snow hushes its landing, soft claws sinking into powder, dark wings folding against the deep cold. The raven tilts its head, listening, as if it, too, is caught in the spell of the long night. Inside, the long house glows like a single ember in a world of frost. The wooden walls creak now and then, the sound as soft as an old friend's sigh. The hearth breathes slowly, sparks rising and drifting up like tiny stars toward the rafters. A child turns in sleep, murmuring a half-formed dream. A mother leans forward, adjusting a blanket, her fingers gentle as falling snow. She presses her cheek to the child's hair, breathing in deeply, her own spirit soothed by the warmth of this shared night. The storyteller's voice drifts even lower, almost like the hush of wind across distant ice floes. They did not just survive winter, he whispers. They became part of it, learned its gentle heart, carried its hush inside them, even when the sun returned. Your mind floats over endless white plains now, under skies alive with aurora, where every movement is slowed to the rhythm of deep sleep. You feel the weight of a thick wool cloak on your shoulders, the soft fur-lined boots wrapping your feet. Yet inside, there is a warmth that cannot be taken, a hearth that burns. Imagine you are inhaling the deep, endless calm of a star-filled winter sky. Breathe out. Imagine releasing every last whisper of tension, every last echo of the day. With each breath, you become lighter, softer, more dream than body. The long house settles into silence. Only the slow breathing of those within, the occasional crackle of a shifting log. It is as if time itself has curled up beside the hearth and fallen into a quiet, contented sleep. You see yourself now as a small flame in this house, not separate, but one small glow among many. A shared warmth that binds every soul, every breath, every heartbeat into a single, soft chord. The storyteller's voice is a final drift across your consciousness. Rest now, he whispers. You have crossed the frost-bound seas, shared the hush of the longest nights, learned the gentle ways of surviving the deepest cold. Now, let yourself drift into the deep fjord of sleep, into the dream-soaked forest of your own spirit. Your body feels heavy and warm, as if wrapped in 100 layers of fur. Your mind is a pale moon floating over a midnight sea, no longer weighed down by thoughts or plans. Deeper, beyond the longhouse, beyond the aurora, into the ancient dream that has always awaited you. Somewhere, a far-off drum echoes through the night. Its beat as slow as your breathing, as gentle as your final thoughts fading into the hush. The drumbeat calls you home, further and further, until you are only warmth. And now, there is only stillness. only the hush of deep sleep waiting to welcome you fully. The storyteller's final words linger in the longhouse air, curling around the rafters, sinking into the furs, becoming part of the very walls. You feel as though your breath is woven together with the breath of everyone who ever sat in this sacred hush, as though your spirit has joined a circle that stretches backward through countless winters. Outside, the aurora continues its slow dance, shimmering and sliding across the night sky like a spirit whale swimming through a midnight ocean. It pulses gently, each flicker a silent lullaby that echoes down through the snow-laden pines and drifts into your own chest. You see yourself in a dream now, standing at the edge of a frozen field. Your cloak is heavy and warm, the fur-lined hood drawn up to frame your face. In your hand, you hold a small lantern carved from horn, the tiny flame inside. You take a slow step forward, and the snow crunches beneath your boots. Your breath rises, a silver cloud that merges with the faint mist hovering above the ice. Each step is unhurried, as though you are moving to the rhythm of some ancient drum. Only you can hear. Feel that cold, pure air filling your lungs. Breathe out. Let each exhale become a prayer to the quiet, a blessing to the stars. The storyteller's voice floats in from far away, gentle as drifting snow. Even on the longest, darkest nights, they carried their small flames, he says, not just to light their path through the deep snow, but to keep the flame alive in their hearts. A reminder that light always waits beyond the cold. Your dream self lifts the lantern higher, casting a circle of soft light on the snow. You watch as small shapes begin to appear at the edge of that circle. Fox tracks curving away into the pines. Delicate prints of ptarmigan and hares. The sweeping brush of pine boughs. It feels as though each mark is a rune, a piece of a great poem written across the winterland. You keep walking slowly, your lantern illuminating each gentle curve of snowdrift, each tree standing in patient silence. Above you, the aurora flares brighter, filling the world with soft green and violet shimmer. It feels as though the sky is singing to you alone, humming a wordless lullaby that settles deep into your bones. Eventually, you come upon a small clearing. At its center stands a single, ancient pine, its trunk wide and gnarled, with centuries of wind. You walk to it and rest your hand on the rough bark, feeling the deep hum of life inside. Slow, strong. You place your lantern at the base of the tree, and for a moment, the tree and the lantern share the same quiet glow. You lean back against the trunk, close your eyes, and listen. The wind whispers through the highest branches, making a sound like a great breath drawn in and out. In that breath, you hear echoes of the old songs, the hush of the sea beneath ice, the soft footfalls of wolves on a midnight hunt, the low murmur of ancestors around hidden hearths. Breathe in. The story of the forest. Breathe out. Your own small story offered back to the sky. As you rest against the pine, You feel a warmth spreading from the bark into your back, rising up through your spine. It is as if the tree is sharing its own hidden fire with you, wrapping you in a layer of living warmth. In the longhouse, your dreaming body stirs slightly beneath heavy blankets. The storyteller watches you with soft eyes, as if he can see your journey in the dreamscape beyond the walls. He leans forward, his breath stirring the last tiny flame on the hearth. "Sleep now," he murmurs, voice low as the heartbeat of earth. Travel where the snow cannot reach you, to the places inside where no winter can touch, to the sacred glow that lives beyond the frost. Back at the tree, you feel your eyelids grow heavy, your breathing slow and easy. Your dream self curls up at the base of the pine, cloak wrapped tightly, the last flicker of lantern light dancing on the snow. Above, the aurora continues its graceful arc, a great river of light carrying you deeper into a silent sea. You hear the far-off call of a raven, a sound that feels like a soft hand guiding you further into sleep. The branches above sway in a slow rhythm, each creak a gentle mantra repeating. Your mind floats free. And now, you are no longer standing in the snow, no longer hearing the wind or the forest. You are only warmth and light, drifting in a boundless sky filled with slow-moving stars. Each star blinks softly at you, each one a small, friendly eye watching over your slumber. You begin to forget the cold altogether, as bright as the northern lights in a moonless sky. Your body, heavy and safe, melts into the great blanket of night. Your thoughts drift like flakes of snow, light, silent, each one dissolving before it touches the ground. The storyteller's final words echo somewhere far behind you, like a memory of a lullaby, the quiet heart of every Viking who once sat in that same longhouse hush. May your dreams be as deep as the winter, as soft as pine needles beneath new snow. Breathe in, breathe out. There is nowhere to go now but deeper into this endless, star-filled night. Your spirit stretches out, touching the shimmer of the aurora, the hush of the snow. You are part of them now. A small flame added to their ancient fire, a soft note added to their unending song of winter survival and warmth. In this place, you are forever held, forever safe, forever resting. Somewhere beyond the dream pine, a distant dawn begins to shimmer far on the horizon, a faint line of pale blue that hints at the return of the sun. But in this quiet place, dawn does not hurry. The long night is sacred, a time for soul rest as deep as the frozen fjords, and no morning would dare to rush it away. In your mind's eye, you float above the clearing now, looking down at your dream self sleeping. The fur cloak is pulled tight, the lantern beside you casting a final. Your breathing is slow, each rise and fall, a soft wave upon a moonlit shore. You feel the warmth from the pine tree flow into the earth below, mingling with hidden underground rivers, echoing through roots and stones. That warmth rises again, surrounding your dream self like a cocoon of shimmering northern light. In that warmth, you begin to sense echoes of old Viking chants. Deep, droning voices that sound like the sea moving beneath thick ice. Breathe in, and feel your chest fill with that low, endless chant, grounding you further. Breathe out, and let your spirit drift, becoming mist above the snow, merging with the shimmering air. The storyteller's voice returns, impossibly soft, as if it comes from within your very bones. In the deepest winters, they found the light not only in the sun, but in each other. He whispers, a shared ember, a shared song, a shared quiet look across a hearth. That was their true warmth. Your mind drifts now into the longhouse once more. You see the people beginning to stir, not to rush into the day, but simply to stretch, to roll beneath heavy blankets, to hum low greetings to one another. A mother cradles her baby closer, pressing a kiss to the tiny forehead, eyes half closed. And honey, a dark, sweet warmth that tastes of summer hidden in winter's heart. An elder lifts a wooden cup to his lips, sipping from a brew made of forest berries. A young woman rises slowly, her woolen dress sweeping the floor. Her hands already reaching for the loom to continue the tapestry she began months ago. She hums softly, her voice weaving through the quiet room like a gentle smoke trail. Your dream self watches all this from beyond, a quiet spirit perched in the rafters. You feel their warmth as your own, each gentle motion adding to the glow. Outside, the snow glitters faintly under the fading moonlight. A small group of warriors gathers near the doorway, strapping on cloaks and boots, preparing to check the traps set in the forest. But even their movements are unhurried, each knot tied with care, each fur-lined hood pulled up slowly, as if savoring every step of preparation. They step out into the blue-gray twilight, their breaths rising in small puffs that catch the last flickers of the aurora. One glances back toward the longhouse, offering a small silent promise to return safely, to bring warmth and nourishment back to the hearth. As you drift deeper, your dream self feels the weight of centuries slide away. You are no longer a visitor. You are part of this tapestry, your breath woven into each thread, your warmth shining in every ember. The lines between you and the Vikings, between you and the pine, between you and the sky, all dissolve until there is only one slow, endless rhythm. Breathe in. Hear the echo of old chants and gentle loom songs filling your lungs. Breathe out. Let every last ripple of tension slip into the snow, disappearing without a trace. The storyteller's voice glides over you again, as soft as a snowflake on skin. Each winter, they honored the spirits of the land, the hidden folk in the rocks, the forest guardians, the ancestors wandering softly between the trees. They gave thanks for the cold, for it taught them to see each spark of light more clearly. You imagine small offerings placed beneath old birch trees, carved wooden figures, a soft prayer whispered into the icy wind, carried upward to the stars. In these gestures, you sense a love for the land, so deep that it becomes a lullaby. Your dream self smiles, eyes closed, as the warmth from the pine begins to glow brighter within your heart. It pulses softly, each beat a silent promise. You are held. You are safe. You are loved. The longhouse is now a soft blur, the dream forest fading into shimmering mists. Only the warmth remains, and the feeling of fur against your skin, the soft weight of a wool cloak over your shoulders. Your breathing slows further, each inhale a wave that takes longer to reach its crest. Now, there is no longer a clear boundary between story and dream. You are the story. You are the dream. You are the hush of snow falling on a still fjord. You are the ember glowing in a warrior's hand, the song humming through the loom threads, the pulse of roots. Sink further, deeper, beyond words, beyond even images, into the soft, endless dark of true rest. The storyteller's final murmur flickers through the last corners of your mind. May your spirit always find the hidden fire within. May each night carry you gently to the warm halls of dream, where you are always home. Your body becomes impossibly heavy, so sweetly relaxed, that it feels as though it is melting into the earth beneath you. Your spirit is light as aurora mist, drifting upward into a sky where time has no hold, into the wide, silent sea of sleep. The last threads of the dream begin to weave into something even gentler, a shimmering veil that cradles your spirit like a cradle. You feel yourself slipping fully into the realm beyond waking, where there are no edges, no clocks, no boundaries, only the endless lull of warmth and quiet. In this realm, you find yourself floating above a sea so calm, it mirrors every star above without a single ripple. The sky is alive with aurora, but here the colors are softer still, pale green like young spruce needles in spring. You drift downward slowly, as if cradled by invisible arms. Your feet touch the surface of the sea, but instead of sinking or standing, you feel yourself gently merging with the water, becoming both wave and sky. Every star above reflects in your heart. Every soft glow of aurora pulses through your veins. Breathe in and feel every starlight memory gather in your chest. Breathe out and let every remaining echo of worry fade like a distant echo across an empty fjord. The storyteller's voice floats to you once more, even softer now, as if it lives inside the stars themselves. They carried stories across oceans, not just in words, but in songs that moved like waves. In runes carved into wood, in glances shared across the fire. These stories were warmth when the ice howled. They were shelter when the dark pressed close. They were a home carried in the heart. You feel those songs move through you, ancient and vast. You hear the hollow thump of an oar dipping into frigid water, the creak of a sail catching a northern wind. Each sound blends into a lullaby that wraps around your spirit, urging you to sink further into its embrace. Beyond the sea, you sense shapes moving slowly, longboats drifting through shimmering mists, their prows carved with dragon heads that glow faintly under aurora light. You see figures aboard, wrapped in furs, faces turned upward, toward the endless sky. Their eyes are soft, filled with the calm, knowing that no matter how far they sail, the warmth of their shared stories. You glide toward one of these boats and find a place at the prow, your hand resting on smooth, weathered wood. The cold sea air brushes your face, but it is no longer a sharp chill. It feels instead like a gentle whisper. Imagine filling your lungs with that clear, salt-touched air, fresh and deep. Breathe out. Release every last layer of tension, each thought dissolving like frost under the first morning sun. The storyteller speaks again, voice like the rustle of moss beneath slow rain. To the Vikings, the sea and the snow were not enemies. They learned patience from the frozen waves, resilience from the long, dark nights, and quiet joy from the flicker of a single candle against the vastness of ice. As your boat drifts, you look back to shore and see the longhouse glowing softly, a golden dot of warmth against the endless white. That glow pulses gently, as if in time with your own heart, a lighthouse calling you always back to rest. You realize you can visit this warmth whenever you wish. It lives within you now, a small, eternal ember that can never be lost. The sea carries you onward, slower and slower, each wave smaller than the last. Soon, you are floating without any movement at all, as if held in an invisible cradle. Above, the stars blink like tiny candles. You feel as though each one watches over you, each pulse a quiet blessing. Return? You close your dream eyes now, feeling your spirit sink beneath the waves, safe and whole. The sea becomes a bed of gentle light, a cushion of moonlit mist. All that remains is warmth, softness, and the slow, sweet pull of deep sleep, drawing you down. The storyteller's final words brush across your mind, softer than any whisper, barely there, like the sigh of snow against a longhouse roof. May your spirit sail in soft waters. May your dreams be warm fires and long nights. May you always find the hush of the north when the world grows loud. You are weightless now. You drift beyond stories, beyond even the voice that guided you here. You are a breath in the long night, a single glowing spark carried on the wind, forever floating in gentle quiet. Breathe in, breathe out, and slip into the deepest, kindest sleep you have ever known. Now, your spirit is so deeply cradled that even your dreamboat begins to dissolve into the sea of sleep. The longboats fade like morning mist over still water, the oars lowering gently, the carved dragon heads bowing toward the stars in farewell. The sea itself turns to a soft fog beneath you, rising up around your body. It feels warm now, not wet or cold, but as if you float here in this in-between, where no thoughts can disturb you, and no sounds can reach but the gentle echoes of the aurora's silent dance above. Your heartbeat matches the rhythm of this place, so slow, so quiet, that each beat feels like a distant drum calling you home. And feel that fog wrap more tightly, gently, squeezing away the last tension in your shoulders. And let every tiny remaining thought drift away like sparks into the star-filled sky. The storyteller's voice returns now, not from the outside, but as though it rises from your own chest. It feels like an echo of your deepest self, the part that has always known how to be still, how to rest, how to survive the deepest winters. Even the coldest wind carries secrets of warmth. Even the darkest night holds stars waiting to guide you. Even the longest silence holds a song, humming so softly that only the quietest heart can hear it. It listens with the patience of pine roots under frozen ground, with the gentleness of fox tracks across new snow. Each word seeps into you like mead sliding down the throat, slow and sweet, warming every hidden hollow. You begin to sense that this place, this fog, this star sea, this quiet, not the axes or shields or heavy cloaks, but this inner warmth, this ember of peace, that no winter wind, you see it now. A small, bright flame deep inside your chest. It glows golden and orange, like a hearth fire seen from far across a dark valley. You feel its heat spread outward, into your arms, your fingers, your legs. Your whole body pulses with it, heavy and sweet, as if each cell is curling up to sleep inside a fur-lined blanket. Gather that golden glow into your lungs. Breathe out. Release it slowly through your entire body, letting it settle in every muscle and every bone. The longhouse appears again for a moment in your mind's eye, a dog curled by the fire. You see the soft glow of its windows, the slow movements inside, a mother rocking her baby. You sense their breathing, slow and rhythmic, weaving together into a warm tapestry of life. The storyteller's voice is only a hush now. A moment when the soul traveled beyond the cold and into the warmth waiting within. Rest was not merely a pause to them, it says.
It was a ceremony.
A sacred passage. A moment when the soul traveled beyond the cold and into the warmth waiting within. You realize that you, too, are crossing that sacred passage. Your spirit drifts deeper and deeper, each moment softer than the one before. Even your bones feel as though they have turned to snowflakes, gently falling through moonlit air. Sending a final blessing of soft green waves. It is as if the northern lights themselves are whispering, "Safe travels, gentle soul. Return whenever you wish. The warmth will always be waiting." Your breath becomes slower still. Now a tide that moves only when it wishes. You sink so deeply that even the idea of sinking fades. There is no effort, no striving. In this final layer, you sense no separation between you and the land. You are the longhouse, the pine, the raven, the snow. You are the hush that falls over the fjord before dawn. You are the breath of the ancestors drifting through the aurora. You are the warmth that survives every winter, unchanged and eternal. Breathe in. Breathe out. Release yourself fully into the cradle of sleep. There are no more words now. Only the slow flicker of the inner hearth, the silent song of stars, and the deep, endless sea of your own dreaming heart. And so, you rest. You drift. In the deepest hush, there is no longer even a sense of movement. Your spirit is like a single snowflake, resting on a pine branch under a moon so soft, it feels like a mother's breath. All is still, all is calm, all is safe. There is no need to remember where you are, or even who you are. You have become part of the great winter dream, a gentle echo within the endless northern quiet. The storyteller's voice is now only the faintest warmth, like the last ember in a hearth just before sunrise. It pulses through you, more a feeling than a sound, more a glow than a word. If you ever feel the world grow cold, it whispers softly from inside your ribs. To this inner longhouse, this secret fire, this deep hush. And you realize that this hush is a gift from the ancient north, a memory passed down through wind and snow and whispered sagas. It is the memory of slow winters that taught patience, of shared furs that taught connection. Your mind drifts further still, and you see yourself as a figure woven into a great tapestry. The threads are made of moonlight, frost, sea spray, and fur. Each stitch holds the laughter of children, the hush of forest paths, the hush of sails and starlit seas. You are held in this tapestry, woven so gently that you can only relax more deeply. Feel that tapestry cradle you tighter, like a hand cupping a small bird. Breathe out. Let yourself dissolve into its warmth, becoming one with each shimmering thread. The forest beyond the longhouse stands. Watch in absolute stillness. Branches heavy with snow bend and sigh, releasing tiny flurries that drift downward like silent blessings. A lone owl blinks from its perch, eyes like polished stones, and then closes them again. Above, the aurora finally begins to fade, its last waves like thin silk scarves slipping away into the pre-dawn sky. In the far distance, a faint line of silver begins to touch the edge of the world. But here, where you rest, the night still holds you close. There is no rush, no expectation, only the soft insistence of rest. The storyteller gives a final blessing now. A gentle thought that flows through your bones like warm mead. May you always know where the fire lives inside you. May the hush of snow guide your spirit when the world is loud. May you rise when ready, slow and warm as a sun. Returning, you feel your body heavier than ever, more relaxed than you imagined possible. Your limbs lie as though they have always belonged to this bed of snow and fur, this nest of night. Your chest rises and falls so slowly it could be the breath of a hibernating bear. And your mind is now a wide fjord, its waters deep and dark and endlessly still. Breathe in. All that is left is warmth and quiet. The last sparks of the longhouse hearth finally sink into gentle ash. Yet you feel no loss, because their warmth lives on in your own heart. A golden ember waiting for all the winters of your life. Beyond the forest, beyond the fjord, beyond the aurora, beyond the aurora, beyond every dream and story. Not an empty silence, but a full, living hush that holds every possible comfort. A silence that reminds you, you are safe, you are loved, you are enough. The night wraps you tighter still, and the final words of the storyteller float through the dream sea. Sleep deeply. Sleep as the Vikings slept beneath endless stars and watchful pines, knowing the fire will always return. Your thoughts slow into single sparks, then into small embers, then into nothing at all. Your body is so relaxed that it has become the earth beneath you, the snow around you, the sky above. There is no difference between breath and dream, no line between you and the long hush. You sleep, beyond story, beyond night, beyond night, beyond night. May you stay here as long as you need. May you drift wherever the aurora leads. May you wake only when the first gentle sunbeam touches your spirit with a golden kiss. Until then, rest, dream, sleep